So what server do I pick?
Oh, don't worry, it doesn't matter. Okay, Zombie Powder, Chapter 26, let's do this! Was that an intro? 26 episodes in, we finally get an intro for this show? You do know the next chapter's the last one, right? Okay, whatever. Anyway, this is Zombie Powder chapter number 26 called beLIEve, but the L-I-E is capitalized inside of it, making it out to be beLIEve lie. That sounds very familiar. Hold on, I'm accessing my Bleach memory databanks. Okay, chapter number 474, Fullbring arc, also entitled beLIEve, with the same L-I-E capital letter there. So hey, I guess that still means that Kubo still remembers Zombie Powder at least a little bit, or that he completely forgot about it altogether and he just, you know, used that chapter title without regarding back to the former chapter. But hey, whatever. So we have the B-side Naked Monkeys part number 17 here, introducing Angela. It still has an E at the end of it. I don't know, maybe Angeli. I kind of want to say Angelica from the old Rugrats cartoon, especially since she's more of the lowly character in this series. But whatever, I'll just keep calling her Angela. I don't think it's going to matter anyway. Angela Bella Rose Cooney. Her mother apparently died when she was 2 years old. No, her mother disappeared when she was 2 years old. Her father is currently in jail for confining and assaulting a minor for a period of 3 years and 2 months. That's kind of dark for a manga. I mean, that's like saying, you know, it's like, oh, where's Ichigo's dad at? Oh, he's in jail because he assaulted a young girl, and he's going to get out in 2 years. That'd be a little bit like a little too much touch of realism there. Just like, okay, that's good. That's we don't need to know that. She has adored Gamma ever since she met him at the age of 7 and came to Gemini Laboratory. She likes Gamma, cream, strawberry-flavored sweets, and the color pink in photographs. She hates dogs because they bark, news programs because they're boring, kneeling because your legs go to sleep, garlic because it stinks, and onions because of carrots. Yeah, she's definitely 11 years old. She calls herself the Genius Beautiful Girl Psychicer. However, it's actually closer to chain arts that Gamma uses. Alright, so whatever technique she's using is very similar to the Korean Zanjutsu shit that Gamma pulls off. So last chapter when, you know, she repelled the bullet as well as repelling the guy, you know, several feet down the alleyway, I would assume maybe that's just what she can do, some kind of invisible ki, chi type energy that they can manipulate and just like force their enemies back like that. Not really sure. So we start off the chapter with where we left off last time, with the guy laying on the other end of the alleyway, completely knocked out, probably wondering what the hell just happened. Elwood is just sitting there wondering what the hell she just said, because at the end of last chapter she announced herself as the beautiful girl Psychicer, and, you know, Elwood's just sitting there like, Psychicer, okay, whatever, who the hell are you, and why are you friends, like, how are you friends with Gamma? And her reaction is, friends? Oh, we're nothing that tame, we're lovers. Yeah, she's definitely 12 years old. Elwood is about to react to this as you would normally expect, you know, her to say, you know, Gamma's lover, but she just, like, stamps her hand right next to him and basically having none of this bullshit and being like, okay, I've told you who I am, now tell me who you are, you know, typical stuff here. Get the chapter title. And then we cut back over to her, who is surprised at the fact that Elwood is actually accompanying Gamma on their trip, and Elwood is actually going to take Angela right to Gamma as we speak. And, you know, she should be content with this, considering the fact that, you know, she's going to go get to see Gamma, but instead she's just questioning the hell out of Elwood. Like, there's no way Gamma would be taking around some brat like you on this journey to find the zombie powder. And I was just kind of like, brat, what the fuck are you talking about? How old are you? And she just says, oh, well, I'll be 12 in 2 months. It's like, okay, so you're still 11, so you're my junior. You have to listen to me. I'm like, okay, I love this. This is like whenever I'm in my dollar store and we have like a mom coming in with 2 kids, and one kid's like 12 years old and the other one's like 5, and the 12-year-old is trying to assert dominance over the 5-year-old. Like, he's like, oh no, Billy, you can't have that candy bar. It's not good for you. You know, that kind of, like, she's trying to emulate her mother even though she herself is a child. Kind of getting the vibes off Elwood here. You know, he's getting to be, you know, and that he's a teenager, so he's just like, oh, well, you know, you're 2 whole years younger than me. I mean, we're both minors, but you gotta listen to me. I know what's best for you here. So she's about to go on exactly why she seems much more mature than she really is, going around in that outfit, I can imagine. To which she immediately gets surprised, though, because now she senses Gamma's smell, and then begins to immediately float off into the air. Huh. I was surprised by this as well. In fact, I actually had to sit back and think, like, wait a minute, in this series, is it really such a weird thing for people just to fly? I mean, we saw Mystic use his ability to fly, but that was more like summoning wings and flying like a bat does. He wasn't actually flying himself. Did Gamma ever fly? Gamma kind of flew using the Karin Zanjutsu, but, you know, you think of all the crazy shit going on, especially since Elwood just saw her, you know, use a psychic energy barrier field to, you know, shoot a guy to the other side of, you know, an alleyway. You think that he would be able to, like, oh, she's floating. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to go with this. He does recover quite quickly, though, and grabs onto her leg, to which, you know, she has the typical jargon, like, oh, why are you grabbing me, you pervert? I just grabbed your leg. Don't look up. Yeah, well, you're wearing that outfit, so really, whatever. I'm just going to continue. I could make fun of this chick's outfit all day. Anyway, we cut back over to the Burger King Hotel, where we have Gamma just laying on the roof, and he's thinking about what Smith told him earlier, exactly with their conversation when they were like, he was giving him the doses of medicine. Gamma's recovered a little bit since then. He's just basically pondering exactly what Smith told him. Smith was basically giving him a lecture like, why did you master the chain arts to begin with? Why did you attach that armor to yourself? It was all to make up to, I want to say Felina, that name that, you know, he mentions, which is probably the name of that mysterious girl with the black hair that we always see in Gamma's flashback. You know, it says Feline here, but I'm just going to go with Felina because I actually know girls that are named Felina, so I'm just going to go with that. Meanwhile, we cut over to Wolfina, who's walking up the steps of the hotel. She's heading to the roof herself, and she's basically just complaining. She has this little, like, massage thing, and that she's using, like, an electronic massager to massage her shoulders because she's like, I went out of my way to cook with these already tense shoulders, and they don't even take a bite, and she's, you know, complaining about her Wolfina's super special stew that had like the eyeballs and like the squid tentacles in it. So yeah, she's upset no one was having that. So she bursts up on the roof and she notices Gamma's there and she calls out to him, but Gamma's asleep with this very troubled look on his face. And this is kind of the high point of the chapter. And this is kind of what I get when Kubo's already aware that, yeah, this series was going to be ending very soon. And he just kind of wanted to maybe, you know, maybe shoehorn, I don't want to say shoehorn in. He wants to show a little bit more backstory for this character of Gamma before the series ends, and this is mostly what we get here. So it's actually pretty cool. The page itself has like a staticky background as we see like Gamma's like maybe vague, you know, recollections of his past here. We have 5 characters standing in a line here, all wearing black clothing and wearing swords on their backs or katanas. Kind of looks like the Kakatsuki from Naruto, basically. We have spiky hair dudes, Scarface, goggles, and bandages with Gamma, a very younger Gamma looking in the center, probably similar to Elwood's age, like 13, 14 here. You know, he obviously doesn't have the armored right arm here. And then the next scene we see him all bloody and broken. Looks like he's about to fucking die. You know, his sword's lying in front of him. It's all bloody. And this girl that appears, which I guess this would be Felina with the long black hair, she appears in front of him just wearing kind of this, it looks like she's just wearing more of like a toga or like a blanket type deal, like a robe. She's not wearing any like shoes or anything. She just walks up to him. And then we get this creepy close-up of her face where there's just blood there. And then that's where the flashback or his dream ends and he wakes up, you know, shocked of what just happened. So I don't know if that last panel there with her, you know, her eyes are all whited out and there's blood splatter behind her. I guess that's indicating she died. Maybe she was like Gamma's benefactor. Maybe Gamma was part of this like secret society where he just like a bunch of mercenaries where they go around and kill people. Kind of like CP9 from One Piece, how they were raised ever since they were kids to go and commit these acts of assassination. And maybe, you know, Gamma almost died one day and this Felina showed up and tried to steer him on the right path, and then he did something, maybe he killed her by accident or some shit, and that's why he has like seeking retribution, because that's like a theme of Gamma's character, you know, the way that Smith's talking about it, the way that Mystic was talking about it, he's seeking retribution to atone for his sins that he's committed before. What are those sins exactly? We're never, you know, made perfectly clear, and this is probably the most we're ever going to get from it. Anyway, he wakes up, and Wolfina's now sitting right next to him, just enjoying her stew. Gamma's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And Wolfina's just like, oh, well, I came up here to eat my stew that no one else wanted. So Gamma's just like, don't worry, okay, pass it over, I'll eat it, I'm sorry. She's like, no, you don't have to do that. I'm just kidding, dumbass, I wouldn't eat that crap. And this is kind of a very heartfelt moment between Wolfina and Gamma here. Basically, Wolfina's trying to get to know Gamma, trying to let herself in, trying to let her in. Basically just asking, like, what's wrong? I mean, you were sleeping with that troubled look on your face. You can't tell me nothing's wrong here. And, you know, well, and Gamma's just like, was like, well, I don't know what I look like when I sleep. That's none of your business anyway. And Wolfina comes up with a very, you know, like, she hits him over the head with a freaking ladle. And then she just basically says, he's like, look, I'm very grateful that you helped me, you know, with Emilio, that you saved me from Mystic, and you're going to get Emilio healed here. And she mentions that it's been a month since they've been traveling together. And she says, it's not like I'm not grateful, but here's the thing. Once we go and get Emilio healed at this doctor that you're talking about, odds are I'm probably never going to get to meet you again, because she understands that Gamma travels and, you know, he's looking for the zombie powder and everything. So after he gets what he wants, the Ring of the Dead off of Emilio, you know, there's no reason for, you know, Wolfina to tag along with Gamma, no reason for Gamma to tag along with Wolfina. He's going to be off on his way. So she's trying to figure out some way to make it up to Gamma exactly all the stuff that he's done for her, and she just can't come up with anything. And she has this like little emotional moment here. It's like, I've been thinking about so many ways, but... And he's just like, Wolfina. And then the next scene is just like, bam! Knocks him upside the head with the ladle again. He gets bent. He's like, God damn it, you pissed me off. So... I'm thinking maybe Kubo is going with some sort of like romantic relationship between these two, like like sexual tension going on here. I don't know. That's the vibe I'm getting from it. You know, like Wolfina is just like she likes him, but she can't express the feelings, so she just responds in rage. You know, or Gamma's just so oblivious he's not getting it, and you know then she responds in rage. But whatever. She gets up and she's about to walk off here, and she's just like, why am I telling you all this stuff? Doesn't matter. I'm angry at myself. I'm out of here. So she just walks off, and Gamma tries to chase after her, but then she just takes the little vibrating, you know, shoulder massager she was using earlier, just slams it in his face, and that's just a very awkward scene right there. But then it's interrupted by the shouts of Angela shouting Gamma, and then, you know, he turns around, and then she just appears out of freaking nowhere and just grabs and hugs him in the face. And then we have this like little panel here where Elwood is still holding on to her leg behind her. I'm having Fully Cooley flashbacks all of a sudden. I wonder why. Anyway, so they all crash land on the roof. And Gamma is very shocked to see her. She's like, Angela, what the hell are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I wanted to see you so badly, and didn't the doctor tell you? I came here to bring you your medicine. So she pulls out, like, I don't know where she was keeping it. She pulls out, like, this little container full of a bunch of syringes and, like, different medical vials and everything. And she's like, can't trust the mail. I'm like, well, okay, I guess there's the mail system in, like, an Old West kind of universe. I really wouldn't trust it either. Maybe it's like the Pony Express or something. I don't know. They have telephones, cell phones, and electric shoulder massagers. So I would assume they probably have a standard, you know, mail trucks and everything. I don't know. So anyway, she says, I brought this to you. How about a kiss? And Gamma brings up this little line here. He's like, no, not until you're 16. We promised, remember? No, we can't have any underage sexual interaction here. This isn't the Bleach online game, Angela. I hate you so much. Yeah, that's about right. So next up, Angela finally notices Wolfina that's been standing right next to Gamma this entire time, and other fun scene from the chapter. She looks at her and she's like, hey, what are you looking at? Wolfina's just like, well, who are you? And then very next panel, without any kind of, you know, like segue, is just Angela just feeling up freaking Wolfina's boobs and just being like, who's this fake-breasted girl, Gamma? And Wolfina reacts like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like out of nowhere. And she's just like, ooh, they feel pretty real. And it's like, they are real. Okay. That's all I think I need to know about this entire series, whether Wolfina's breasts were real or not. I'm good. All mysteries are solved for me. Anyway, she holds up the freaking massager like a weapon again, holding it up at Angela. Like, you freaking, what are you doing? I'll, like, smack you. I'll gently massage your back with this, you bitch. And then she just strikes, you know, she's still a child, so she like makes faces at her, you know, whatever. Anyway, so Gamma just says, okay, everyone just calm down, Wolfina, stop waging the massager. Elwood, stop puking from the motion sickness you just endured. I'll explain everything. So we get like a transition. We don't actually see Gamma explaining everything to Wolfina and Elwood. I would assume then that he just explained everything, like, oh, this is Angela. She works at the Gemini Laboratory. Probably everything we just read in the Naked Monkeys, and like getting them up to speed on what's going on with Wolfina's situation to Angela. And Angela's like, wait, so these guys are coming to the freaking doctors with us, and this bitch is coming to the doctors with it. That's what she calls Wolfina. And Gamma's just like, yep, that's pretty much right. And Angela is just like, because she's a child, she's has this infatuation with Gamma, obviously. She's like, no, but I wanted to be alone with you the entire time. And Gamma's like, no, it's cool. Just, if you let them come with us, then you could sleep in the same bed with me. How about that? And then she's like, oh, if we sleep in the same bed, but everyone will hear us next door. And Gamma's just like, where'd you hear freaking adult jokes like that from? And he's like, that's pretty tame by today's standards, but you know what I mean. She's 11, so I guess that's a little bit weird. All right, so anyway, I guess she sniffles and she gets over. I guess he's like, oh, well, I guess to sleep in the same bed as him. I guess that's okay. So she stands up triumphantly and she's like, okay, then I'll take everyone to the doctor's place right now. And Gamma's surprised by this. He's like, oh, wait, so so wait, you could do that now? And Angela's just like, yep, I can do it now because I'm growing every day. My powers are growing every day just for you, little heart. And Gamma's just like, oh shit, okay, we can do this. All right, Elwood, go get Smith, gather all our shit. We're getting the hell out of Dodge. So we don't exactly know what's going to happen next, but then we cut over to the Gemini laboratory where we see one of the maids. The maids, you could determine whatever, I don't know. And then we see the doctor there that would still, we don't see her full face. I guess that's Dr. Gemini. So, they're doing all these computer stuff, typing on shit, and the doctor sits up out of the chair and she tells Okira and Geraldine, the two maids from the last chapter, that they're going to go greet them. Then we cut back over to the BK Hotel on top of the roof here, where we have Angela performing her secret technique or whatever, and apparently I guess it's some sort of teleportation technique because they're all like clinging onto Angela's body and they have all their shit, like their stuff packed, and Smith's there now, and Gamma's, and they're like Elwood's questioning like what's going to happen, what's she doing, and Gamma's just like, just shut up, she has to complete concentration to pull this off. So then that's the chapter ends, where Angela is just bracing herself, and she has like this aura emanating off of her, and that's it basically. So I'm assuming that's basically like some teleportation technique, like she's just gonna zap everybody directly to the laboratory. Next is the last chapter of the entire series, guys. So maybe Kubo is gonna try to show some more exposition or try to end it off in kind of an ambiguous way. I mean, they're not gonna resolve everything, obviously. They're not gonna. I don't even think Emilio's gonna get healed next chapter. It's probably just gonna be like, here's the doctor, here's this, maybe we'll get to go to the doctor, what she looks like, and then after that, everything's maybe good to go. I'm not really sure how this is going to end, but hope we get at least a little bit more, I hope they at least explain, maybe like the doctor will say like, oh, I'm the one that made the armored right arm, I'm the one that made the chainsaw sword. Maybe Gamma will pull up his sword and be like, yeah, this got a little damaged in my fight with Balmont, can you fix this? At least elaborate on some stuff, where did Gamma get this shit, a little bit more about it, maybe a little bit about Smith or something, I don't know. I mean, it's the last chapter, I think it's the normal length as any other one, maybe a little bit longer, so I'm not expecting every single plot point to be at least touched upon, but I hope they do at least a few of them. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this chapter review with Zombie Powder Chapter 26. See you back here next time, where we'll finish off the entire series with chapter number 27. See you guys.